IELTS Listening Practice Test. You will hear a series of recordings and you will be required to answer questions based on what you hear. Before each recording, you will be given time to read the instructions and the questions. You will also have an opportunity to check your answers. Each recording will be played once only. The listening test is divided into 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now, turn to Section 1. Section 1. In this section, you will hear a conversation between a guest and a hotel receptionist about booking a room at a small hotel. Your task is to listen carefully and complete the questions based on the information you hear. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. Now listen carefully and answer the questions 1 to 5.
Good morning, Riverside Hotel. This is Emily speaking. How may I help you?
Good morning. I'd like to book a room for next month, please.
Certainly. Have you stayed with us before?
No, this will be my first visit.
That's lovely. May I take your name first?
Yes, it's Daniel Harper.
Thank you. That's Daniel. And the surname is Harper?
Yes. Harper.
Thank you, Mr. Harper. What date are you planning to arrive?
Friday the 14th of August.
Let me just check. Yes, we have availability. And how many nights would you like to stay?
2 nights, so I'll leave on Sunday morning.
Perfect. Will you be traveling alone?
Yes, just me.
We currently have 2 room types available, a standard single room or a deluxe double room for single occupancy.
What's the difference?
The deluxe room is larger and overlooks the river. It also includes a small seating area.
That sounds nice, but I don't think I'll spend much time in the room. I'll take the standard single.
Certainly. Now, could I have a contact telephone number?
Of course. It's 07182463915.
Let me read that back. 07182463915.
That's correct.
Thank you. And do you have an email address so we can send your confirmation?
Yes. It's daniel.harper24@email.co.uk.
I'll read that carefully. Danielle, full stop, harper24@email.co.uk.
Actually, there's no full stop. It's all one word before the number.
Thank you for correcting me. So it's danielharper24@email.co.uk.
That's right.
Excellent. Is there a particular reason for your visit?
I'm attending a photography exhibition in the city centre.
That sounds interesting. Our hotel is only about a 10-minute walk from the exhibition hall.
That's one of the reasons I chose your hotel.
I'm glad to hear that. Would you like breakfast included?
How much extra is it?
It's £10 per morning if booked now, or £12 if you decide after you arrive.
In that case, I'll book breakfast for both mornings.
Certainly. I'll add that to your reservation.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask before we finish the booking details?
Yes. Is there free Wi-Fi throughout the hotel?
Yes, it's available in every room and all public areas.
Great. That's important because I may need to send some photographs to my clients.
No problem at all.
Now you have some time to read questions 6 to 10 before you hear the rest of the conversation. Now listen carefully and answer the questions 6 to 10.
Now, before I confirm everything, do you have any special requests?
Yes. If possible, I'd like a quiet room.
Certainly. We can't absolutely guarantee it, but I'll make a note to allocate you a room at the back of the hotel, away from the main road.
That would be appreciated.
Will you need a parking space during your stay?
No, I'll be traveling by train.
That's easy enough. The railway station is only 5 minutes away on foot.
Excellent.
Our standard check-in time is from 2 o'clock in the afternoon. About what time do you expect to arrive?
My train is due to arrive at 1:30, so I should be at the hotel by about 2.
That's perfect. Your room should be ready by then.
Great.
Now let's go over the cost. The standard single room is £78 per night, and breakfast for 2 mornings comes to £20. So the total is £176.
That's fine.
We only require a small deposit today. Would you like to pay by debit card or credit card?
I'll use my debit card.
Thank you. I'll process that once we finish the call. The remaining balance can be paid when you check in.
That's convenient.
Finally, your booking reference is RH4729.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
That's R for Riverside, H for Hotel, then 4729.
RH4729. I've written it down.
Perfect. You'll also receive a confirmation email in the next few minutes with all your booking details.
Excellent. I'll look out for it.
Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, that's everything. Thank you for all your help.
You're very welcome, Mr. Harper. We look forward to welcoming you on the 14th of August. Have a pleasant day.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
That is the end of Section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to Section 2. Section 2. You will hear a talk given by the manager of a community center to people who are visiting for the first time. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Now listen carefully and answer the questions 11 to 15.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Greenfield Community Centre. My name is Sarah Collins, and I'm the Centre Manager. It's a pleasure to see so many new visitors here today. Whether you've come to join one of our activities, use our facilities, or simply learn more about what we offer, I hope you'll leave with a clear understanding of how the centre can become part of your local community. Over the next few minutes, I'll introduce you to the building, explain the facilities available, and share some practical information that will help you make the most of your visit. After the talk, you're welcome to look around at your own pace, and I'll be happy to answer any questions at the reception desk. The Greenfield Community Centre has served local residents for over 20 years and was completely renovated 3 years ago to provide more modern and accessible facilities. Today, people of all ages visit the centre to learn new skills, keep fit, enjoy hobbies, and meet others from the neighbourhood. The building has 2 floors with lifts and wide corridors to ensure that everyone, including wheelchair users and parents with pushchairs, can move around comfortably. Clear directional signs are displayed throughout the centre, and you'll also find information boards near each entrance showing today's activities and room locations. Most visitors begin their visit on the ground floor, so that's where we'll start. As soon as you enter the building, you'll see the reception desk directly ahead. This is the place to register for activities, collect booking information, or ask for assistance. Our reception staff can also provide a printed map of the building and help you find the correct room if you're attending a class for the first time. Opposite reception is the Riverside Cafe, which is open every day from 8 in the morning until 6 in the evening. It serves hot drinks, light meals, and a selection of homemade cakes. Many visitors choose to meet friends there before or after their activities, so it's often one of the busiest and most welcoming areas in the building. Next to the cafe is our main activity hall. This large space is used throughout the week for fitness classes, indoor sports and community events. At weekends, it regularly hosts charity fairs, local exhibitions and seasonal celebrations, so the layout may change depending on the event taking place. Along the corridor beside the activity hall, you'll find 3 meeting rooms of different sizes. These rooms can be hired by community organisations, local businesses and private groups for meetings, workshops and training sessions. Each room is equipped with free Wi-Fi, a projector and a whiteboard to support a wide range of activities. Finally, before we continue to the facilities upstairs, it's worth knowing that the public toilets, baby changing facilities and drinking water stations are all located at the end of the ground floor corridor, making them easy to find whenever you need them.
You now have some time to read questions 16 to 20 before you hear the rest of the conversation. Now listen carefully and answer the questions 16 to 20.
Visitors who enjoy using the centre regularly may wish to become members. Although membership isn't required to use most facilities, it does offer several advantages. Members receive discounted fees for selected courses, can book popular activities earlier than non-members, and are informed about special events before they are advertised to the general public. You can complete the registration process at reception, and it normally takes no more than 5 minutes. If you're planning to attend classes on a regular basis, I'd also recommend downloading our free mobile app. It allows you to check the latest timetable, receive notifications if a class is cancelled, and manage your bookings without having to telephone the centre. Before I finish, I'd like to mention a few important rules that help us keep the building safe and enjoyable for everyone. Please remember to sign in at reception whenever you arrive for a booked activity. This enables us to keep accurate attendance records and is particularly important in the unlikely event of an emergency. Food and hot drinks should not be taken into the classrooms or activity areas, although bottled water is permitted during exercise sessions. We also ask visitors to switch their mobile phones to silent mode before entering classes or meetings, so that everyone can enjoy the activities without unnecessary interruptions. If you hear the fire alarm, please leave the building immediately using the nearest clearly marked exit. Staff members will direct you to the assembly point in the front car park, where we'll check that everyone has left the building safely. Please don't re-enter the centre until a member of staff tells you that it is safe to do so. For those of you planning future visits, the reception desk is open from 8 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock in the evening from Monday to Friday, while weekend opening hours are from 9 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. During these times, staff are available to answer questions, accept bookings, and provide information about all of our activities. If this is your first visit, I'd encourage you to spend a little time exploring both floors after the talk. You'll find notice boards displaying details of upcoming courses, volunteer opportunities, and community events taking place over the next few months. Our staff are always happy to recommend activities based on your interests, so please don't hesitate to ask if you're unsure where to begin. Many of our members first came here simply to attend a single class or event, but they soon discovered new hobbies and made lasting friendships. We hope you'll have a similarly positive experience and become part of our growing community. That brings us to the end of this introduction. I hope it has given you a clear picture of the facilities and services available at the Greenfield Community Centre. Thank you very much for your attention today. Please enjoy your visit. And if you have any questions, come and speak to me or any member of our reception team. We look forward to welcoming you back again very soon.
That is the end of Section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to Section 3. Section 3. You will hear two university students discussing the preparation of a group presentation on renewable energy for one of their environmental science modules. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Now listen carefully and answer the questions 21 to 25.
Hi Daniel, thanks for meeting this afternoon. I thought it would be useful for us to go through our presentation before we meet with our tutor tomorrow.
Definitely. I've brought my notes and I also looked over the feedback from our proposal. Overall, it was positive, but there are a few areas we need to improve before we prepare the final presentation.
Yes, I noticed that. The tutor liked our choice of renewable energy because it's a current issue, but she said our focus was still a bit too broad.
Exactly. At first, we planned to cover solar, wind, hydroelectric, and geothermal energy. But trying to explain all four in 15 minutes would leave us with very little time for analysis.
I agree. Instead of giving a brief description of every renewable technology, perhaps we should compare just two of them in greater depth.
That sounds more realistic. Which two do you think would work best?
I was thinking solar and wind energy. There are plenty of reliable academic sources, and both technologies have developed rapidly during the last decade.
I like that combination. Originally, I wondered whether hydroelectric power would be more interesting, but most of the recent journal articles we found focused on solar panels and wind farms. It would probably be easier to support our arguments with stronger evidence.
That's true. We also need to explain why renewable energy is becoming more important rather than simply describing the technology itself.
So perhaps we could begin with a short introduction about climate change, increasing energy demand, and the need to reduce carbon emissions before moving on to the comparison.
Yes, but we shouldn't spend too long on the background. Most people in the class already understand the basic reasons for using renewable energy.
Good point. We can keep the introduction to about 2 minutes and then move into the main discussion.
I've also been thinking about how we divide the presentation. Would you prefer to explain solar energy while I cover wind energy?
Actually, I wondered if it might flow better if one of us introduced both technologies first, and then the other compared their advantages and limitations.
Could you explain what you mean?
Well, instead of repeating similar information separately, we could organise it by theme. For example, you could introduce both technologies and explain how they generate electricity. Then I'd compare installation costs, efficiency, environmental impact, and long-term maintenance.
Oh, I see. That would avoid unnecessary repetition. I was worried the audience might lose track if we kept switching between topics.
Exactly. It should also make the presentation sound more connected.
Another thing we need to decide is whether to include a case study. We collected information about a university campus that recently installed solar panels, but we also found an interesting report about an offshore wind project.
I think one detailed example is probably enough. The offshore wind project includes more recent data and gives us clearer statistics to discuss, so I'd choose that one.
I agree. The figures are easier to interpret and they support our conclusion more effectively.
Great. So we've decided to focus on solar and wind energy, organise the presentation by themes rather than technologies, and use the offshore wind project as our main example.
That sounds like a solid plan. Tonight, I'll revise the introduction and prepare the diagrams, while you can update the comparison table and check that all the references follow the correct university style.
Perfect. I'll also double-check that the data comes from the latest research papers rather than older reports.
Now you have some time to read questions 26 to 30 before you hear the rest of the conversation. Now listen carefully and answer the questions 26 to 30.
While you do that, I'll practice the opening so that we stay within the time limit. We only have 15 minutes, including questions from the tutor afterwards.
Yes, timing is important. When we practiced last week, we spent nearly 6 minutes explaining the background, which didn't leave enough time for the comparison.
I remember. We should probably rehearse each section with a timer. That way, we'll know whether any part needs to be shortened before the presentation.
Agreed. Another thing I noticed is that some of our slides contain too much text. People will end up reading instead of listening.
I was thinking the same. We could replace a few paragraphs with diagrams or simple charts. For example, the graph showing the increase in renewable electricity generation is much clearer than describing the figures in full sentences.
Exactly. Visuals should support what we're saying rather than repeat it. I'll simplify the graphs and remove any unnecessary labels.
What about the conclusion? At the moment, it only summarises the main points.
Perhaps we should end with a recommendation instead. We don't need to argue that one technology is always better than the other. Instead, we could explain that the most suitable option depends on local conditions such as climate, available land, and long-term investment.
That's a much stronger ending because it reflects what the research actually shows. Different regions have different priorities, so there isn't a single solution for every country.
Exactly. It also demonstrates that we've evaluated the evidence rather than simply reporting it.
Before we finish, is there anything else the tutor mentioned that we haven't addressed?
She suggested we should make better links between our sections. Instead of moving abruptly from one topic to another, we should use short transition sentences so the presentation flows naturally.
That's easy enough to improve. We can add a brief sentence before each new section to explain why we're changing focus.
Good idea. Also, let's avoid reading directly from our notes. If we know the material well enough, we'll sound much more confident.
I agree. I'll prepare a few prompt cards with key words rather than complete sentences.
I'll do the same. That should help us maintain eye contact with the audience as well.
When shall we meet again to rehearse everything?
How about tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the library seminar room? That gives us an hour before we see the tutor.
That works for me. We can do one complete rehearsal, make any final adjustments, and check that the slides display properly on the presentation equipment.
Perfect. I'll bring my laptop, and you can bring the updated slides. If we notice any problems, we'll still have enough time to fix them before the meeting.
Great. I feel much more confident now that we've organised everything properly.
Me too. We've narrowed the topic, divided the work fairly, and agreed on a clearer structure. I think the presentation will be much stronger than our original plan.
Thanks for your help today. I'll send you the revised slides this evening so you can review them before tomorrow.
Excellent. I'll check the references, update the comparison table, and email you any final comments tonight.
Brilliant. See you tomorrow morning.
See you then. Hopefully we'll be completely ready for the tutor's feedback session.
That is the end of Section 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to Section 4. Section 4. You will hear part of a university lecture about the future of artificial intelligence in daily life. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer the questions 31 to 40.
Good morning, everyone. In today's lecture, we're going to explore the future of artificial intelligence in daily life. Artificial intelligence, often shortened to AI, has already become part of many everyday activities, although people are not always aware of it. Whether you're using a navigation app to avoid traffic, asking a virtual assistant for the weather, or receiving recommendations while shopping online, AI is quietly working in the background. Today, we'll examine how these technologies are likely to develop over the next decade and what this could mean for individuals and society. Let's begin by considering why AI has progressed so rapidly in recent years. One important reason is the dramatic increase in computing power. At the same time, enormous amounts of digital information have become available for computers to analyze. This combination has allowed AI systems to recognize patterns, learn from experience, and improve their performance over time. Unlike traditional computer programs, which simply follow fixed instructions, modern AI can adapt when presented with new information. The first area where we can expect significant changes is the home. Smart homes already include devices such as intelligent lighting systems, security cameras, and voice-controlled speakers. In the future, these separate devices are likely to become much more closely connected. Rather than responding only to direct commands, they may learn household routines and make useful decisions automatically. For instance, a heating system could reduce energy use when everyone has left the house, while a refrigerator might identify which food supplies are running low and prepare a shopping list before anything essential is forgotten. Another important aspect is healthcare. AI has already demonstrated considerable promise in assisting doctors with diagnosis. By analysing medical images and patient records, computer systems can sometimes detect diseases earlier than the human eye. However, this doesn't mean that doctors will become unnecessary. Instead, AI is expected to support healthcare professionals by providing additional information and highlighting patterns that might otherwise be overlooked. As a result, medical staff should be able to spend more time communicating with patients and making informed clinical decisions rather than carrying out repetitive administrative tasks. Education is another field that is likely to experience major transformation. At present, many online learning platforms already recommend suitable exercises based on previous performance. In the future, educational software could adapt continuously to each learner's strengths and weaknesses. A student who struggles with mathematics, for example, might receive additional explanations and practice activities, while another student could move more quickly to advanced material. Even so, teachers will continue to play a vital role by encouraging critical thinking, creativity, and social development, all of which remain difficult for machines to replicate. Transport also offers interesting possibilities. Many people immediately think of self-driving cars when discussing AI, but the technology extends much further. Artificial intelligence may improve traffic management by analysing road conditions in real time and adjusting traffic signals to reduce congestion. Public transport systems could become more reliable because AI would predict maintenance needs before equipment fails. Freight companies might also use intelligent planning systems to reduce fuel consumption by selecting more efficient delivery routes. Despite these advantages, it's worth noting that AI also presents significant challenges. Privacy is one of the most frequently discussed concerns. Intelligent systems often rely on collecting large quantities of personal information in order to operate effectively. Without appropriate safeguards, this data could be misused or accessed without permission. Therefore, governments and technology companies will need clear regulations that protect individuals while still allowing innovation to continue. Employment is another issue that attracts considerable attention. Some routine occupations may gradually disappear as machines become capable of performing repetitive tasks more efficiently. However, history suggests that technological change also creates entirely new types of work. Future employees are likely to require stronger digital skills, greater adaptability, and the ability to collaborate with intelligent systems rather than compete directly against them. Lifelong learning may become an essential part of most careers as technology continues to evolve. Researchers also emphasize the importance of developing trustworthy AI. People are far more likely to accept intelligent technologies if they understand how important decisions are made. For this reason, many scientists are working on systems that can explain their reasoning instead of simply producing an answer. Transparency will become increasingly important in areas such as finance, healthcare, and public services, where AI recommendations may influence decisions with serious consequences. To summarize, artificial intelligence is expected to become even more deeply integrated into everyday life. It has the potential to improve healthcare, education, transport, and household management while increasing efficiency in countless routine activities. At the same time, society must address important questions about privacy, employment, and responsible use. The future of AI will depend not only on technological progress, but also on the choices made by governments, businesses, and individuals. If these developments are managed carefully, artificial intelligence could become one of the most valuable tools for improving quality of life in the years ahead.
That is the end of Section 4. Now you have half a minute to check your answers.